I assume that you already know how to teach leadership skills, but you want to know how to teach leadership skills online. Well, I've developed a strategy that I believe is the best. In fact, the results that I get speak for themselves. Not only will you be able to teach effectively online, but this strategy automatically pulls in the people who are looking for your leadership services. This isn't about speaking to people who already know you, but all the people around the world who've never heard of you before that really need to learn leadership skills. It's those people who are now going to be finding you. So that's what I'm going to teach you in this episode. We're going to start out this episode talking about the strategy of teaching leadership skills online. Then we're going to talk about how to start your videos, followed by what you can do to keep people's attention and keep them engaged throughout your video. Then we're going to talk about an efficient way to prepare so that you can actually film more content in less time. And then I'll wrap up the video with my favorite strategy of how you can film these videos so that people will find them. You'll get more views by doing this strategy. I make hundreds of educational videos every month on YouTube. This is my expertise, and I help lots of other educators do the same. In fact, many of them are doing extremely well financially. Several of them are making six figures every month, and we follow this exact strategy. So here's an overview of the strategy. All around the world, there are people right this moment going to Google and YouTube and typing in questions. They're asking things that you're the perfect person to answer. You would be the one that would love to answer their questions. So what we're going to do is create these how-to videos that answer their questions, and here's why. Let's say it's a 10-minute episode. Somebody goes to Google and YouTube and they type in this question. Your video comes up because it's an exact match. It's exactly what they were asking, so they of course click on it. Because it's exactly what they want, they're watching your video all the way to the end. Now the YouTube algorithm sees that and says, wow, this is a valuable video. Let's suggest this video more and more. So these videos start to become machines that market your business and are pulling in people who want to learn from you. This is gonna sound crazy, but the type of leads you get this way are better than referrals because they see you in video, they're making eye contact with you, you're giving them value for free. They begin to build this relationship of trust with you, right? They admire you and they want to hire you. All right, I'm really excited to share a tool with you that will help you title your videos correctly so that they get results. Because you can make an amazing video, but if you put it on YouTube, it won't get any views without strategy, without some way of marketing your video. And by doing keyword research before you film and titling your video right, it'll make your video automatically a marketing machine, pulling in people who are searching. So let me show you. So you're teaching leadership skills. Let's come in here and let's just type in the word leadership. And by the way, the tool I'm using, it's called the Keyword Magic Tool. It's by SEMrush. I highly recommend it. Now, at first glance, this looks like any keyword tool that you might have come across before. But what's special about this tool is right here, this button. If I hit questions, that's a button I always turn on. And then I can come over here to this advanced filter and I'm going to set a word count up to 8 because I'm really looking for specific phrases. The longer, the more specific and the more competition that I eliminate. Okay, so here's a pretty broad topic, one that would be great for you to address. What's the difference between leadership and management? And then let's just scan down the list and see which other topics we can discover. I mean, this sounds a little bit too specific, like it might be a book title, The 4 Elements of Transformational Leadership. You could choose whether that was a good title for you or not. And that's certainly specific if you're familiar with the Marine Corps. This one is specific, but you notice that it's not really phrased like a title of a video. A commitment to being ethical is important for good leadership. I mean, so that's true, but let's find some better ones. And this one is a fragment of a sentence, so let's keep looking. Here's a good one. What is ethical leadership and why is it important? Or the next one, what is organizational leadership and why is that important? I don't know what this is, so maybe this would be a good video for me to watch. What must a cost leadership strategy accomplish to be successful? How to improve leadership skills in the workplace. Okay, so I would just keep going down the list and checking the ones that I thought I could talk about. Let me show you how to export these and then I'll do a more specific search. So you come over here, you hit the export button, Hit that and it just downloads it right to my computer. Now I prefer to use Google Docs, so once this opens up, I just grab all those right there and I hit copy, and I'll take that over to my Google Doc and organize it the way that I like. And then I can come back to the tool and just come up here. Okay, what would be something more specific about leadership? I mean, maybe I'm wanting to lead a sales team. All right, so let's type in lead sales team and just see what specific questions I get about that. All right, so this first one I really like, how to lead a sales team to success. Now I want to talk about this number, 20. Okay, we got 20 searches per month. Does that sound a little bit low? Okay, that really is a low number, but I want to talk about why I think this phrase is a goldmine for you if you want to teach people about leadership online and you want to attract people who would hire you to help them with leadership. Now this phrase has 8 words. Okay, and there's a lot of people who are asking this question that will rearrange those words or type their question in a different way. Okay, but for right now, this exact phrase has 20 searches per month. And here's what happens. Those 20 people, they go to Google or YouTube and they type this question in. They will see your video. Okay, they'll click play and they'll watch it all the way to the end because it's exactly what they were searching for. The YouTube algorithm sees that and they think, wow, this is a valuable video. We only sent 20 people there at first, but look, they watched it all the way to the end. And so now the algorithm will get to work for you, suggesting your video to other people who are doing similar searches. So your video will get a little bit of views at first, and then it'll get more and more and more, and it will gradually build momentum. In fact, years from now, this video will still be pulling in search traffic. Now hold on just a minute. I just noticed that you haven't subscribed yet. So there's a red button. Go ahead and click that red button and subscribe to this channel. And then right next to it, there's a bell. Click that button as well. That turns on alerts so that each time I upload a new episode, you'll get an email from YouTube and you won't miss a thing. Once I have the titles selected, the list of videos that I want to film, and I'm ready to prepare the content, I use the same outline every time. This is what the outline looks like. I've got my title. I can make notes about my intro if there's anything I want to say specifically in the intro. I remind myself to give content hooks. Then I have several bullet points where I can just put the talking points of things that I want to talk about throughout the video. What I want to talk about first, second, third. I might end with a story. And then I always have a very specific call to action, whether I'm recommending the video that they should watch next or the lead magnet, the free gift that they can get by clicking the link below. Now, we already talked about your titles. Remember, this is probably an 8 or a 9 word phrase. That's what your title is. In your intro, you're basically reading the title to them and then telling them why it's important. So, hey, in this video, we're going to talk about this long sentence. I've been doing this for years, or this is really going to change your life, right? So something profound, something that's a why of why they need to watch this 10-minute episode. We're going to talk about the content hooks in a minute because we need to have the content prepared first. One way that you can think about it is in time. Like I'm going to spend a minute here, then I'm going to spend a minute here. I'm going to share a story, maybe that's 2 minutes. I've got another minute here, and I've got another minute here. You'll know the time as you go along. Now, when you prepare it this way, you don't want to memorize it and on filming day, try and remember all bullet points because guess what? You can pause. I'm pausing a whole bunch while recording this video, but I know that my editors will just edit out those pauses. And what I have all my clients do is they do point number 1. They look at their notes, and then they come and they look into the camera and they deliver point number 1. They might talk for 1 minute, 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, and then they finish point number 1. Then they come back, they look at their notes. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about next. Then they come back to the camera and they deliver point number 2. They're not thinking about what point number 3 is. In fact, we want them to intentionally pause after they're done talking about point number 2. They come back to their notes, they look at point number 3 and they say, oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about next. They look at the lens of the camera and they deliver point 3. This is the best way to prepare your content because 1, it's simple. You're not writing out a lengthy script that might take you a couple of hours to prepare for one video. Now you can just bullet point the talking points in maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and that episode is prepared. And you can take the burden off your shoulders of having to memorize all this content because you've just got memory joggers. I'm going to talk about this first, then I'm going to talk about this second, and you're going to pause between each one. Let's talk about how you start an episode. So right when you hit record, what's the first thing that you should say? Well, there are 2 things. 1, what is the video about and why should I watch it? Let's think of an example. Let's say you did keyword research and you found the question, how to be a leader when everyone wants to quit. Okay, so that sounds like a pretty good question. If I were starting the episode, I might say, hey, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about how to be a leader when everyone around you wants to quit. Now that's really hard. It's really hard, and there's some key skills that you need to learn, and that's what I'm going to share in this episode. Right? So I told them what the video is about, and that does create curiosity itself, but then I wanted to back it up. I just wanted to kind of emphasize it and let them know this episode is really going to be helpful to you. Let me give you another example. So let's say the title was, what is the difference between leadership and management? I might start that out by saying, welcome back. Is there a difference between leadership and management? Well, the clear answer is yes. And it's really important that you understand that difference so that you can be a leader and not just a manager. By the end of this episode, you'll have a very clear understanding of the difference between leadership and management. After you've done your intro and the little opener has played, your little branding piece that's 6 or 8 seconds long, then comes the content. And you want to start out your content with content hooks. So I want to demonstrate how not to do it and then a better way to do it. So on the outline here, I'm going to just demonstrate with this title, how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics. Now, Dorian Spackman, she's the expert on this topic. She taught it to me. I've used the remedy many times, so I'm going to pretend that that's my expertise, okay? And here's my outline. You notice I've got 3 words or 1 word or 2 words, okay? Very simple outline. I've got 6 different points that I'm going to cover in the video. First, let me demonstrate how not to do the content hooks. All right, as we dive into this topic of how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics, really you just need 3 ingredients. If you go grab some garlic, some cayenne pepper, and some raw honey, and you mix that together, you take that, it will wipe out your strep throat. I just gave away the whole episode, right? Why are people going to need to watch longer? Or maybe they don't believe me. Maybe they think, oh, that sounds too good to be true. Let me go find a better video. Or maybe they do believe me and they go leave to see if they have those ingredients in their kitchen. Who knows, but they're certainly not going to stick around for the full episode. So here is a second attempt, and I'm going to set some content hooks that create curiosity. All right, as we dive into this topic of how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics, first, we're going to talk about why not antibiotics. And there's some good reasons why you might want to consider an alternative. Then there are 3 ingredients. We're going to talk about each one and how each one is a natural antibacterial and a natural antiviral. It's amazing stuff. Then we're going to go to the kitchen. I'm going to show you how to prepare this and how to take it, dosage and whatnot. And then I'm going to wrap up with a story. My son, when he was really young, he had a high fever, he had strep throat, and we used this remedy. He also experienced a side effect that you're going to want to know about because you're probably going to experience this side effect as well. All right, let's dive in. Okay, do you see what I did there? Do you see the difference in the first example and the second one? Hopefully you see how the second one really would create a lot of curiosity and didn't give away the secrets. The whole goal is to create curiosity and help them think, wow, this is an amazing video. I'm excited to spend the next 10 or 12 minutes watching this episode. Now let's talk about the end of the video. You want to have a call to action if you want your channel to be profitable, right? If you want to make revenue or you want to have customers or clients, you need to ask them to do something. But it's actually easier than you might think. You don't have to sell them anything at this video, which would kind of be weird when it's an educational video, right? You're giving away information for free, and then at the end you're trying to sell them something. Nope, we don't have to worry about that. Give them a free gift. Okay, so you might say something like this. Hey, now that you've learned how to do A, B, and C, I want to give you a free copy of my book. I go way more in depth on this topic, and if you click the link below and you just cover the shipping costs, I'll send you the book for free. That type of a call to action or that type of a lead magnet, the gift that you give away is called a lead magnet because it attracts leads. That can be really effective because in order for them to pay the shipping costs, they need to give you their name, their phone number, their address, their email, and they're paying a few dollars so you know that they're committed. So it's a high quality lead and you get a lot more of their contact information. As a heads up, the lead magnet that I'm going to give away to you for watching this episode is my Influencer Almanac. It's a digital piece that has a lot of valuable information in there, but there's no cost at all. You just get it for free because I don't have to ship it out to you. I can just email you the link. Another thing that I want to talk about call to action is engagement. You can ask people to do things like, hey, remember to subscribe. Did you notice how I asked you to subscribe earlier in the episode? I was over there sitting on the stairs. Most people wait to the end of the video and their call to action is that. But what that does is it tells people to leave. It says, you know what? I'm all done. You can be all done with YouTube. See you later. See you tomorrow. You actually don't want to give any signals like that. So at the end of your videos, you either have a call to action to a lead magnet where if they are going to leave, they're going to your website, or you have a call to action that leads them to the next video that you recommend that they watch. So you might say something like this. Hey, now that you've learned A, B, and C in this video, if you want to learn X, Y, and Z, go watch this video next. You can point to it, you can tell them the title of the video, but that way they're not ending their YouTube session, they're actually continuing and going and watching another video that you recommend to them. I typically will recommend that we do 5 episodes that link to a lead magnet. So the call to action is to go to a lead magnet. The other 15 would link to those 5 videos. So it'd be, hey, if you've learned A, B, and C, you need to go watch this video next to learn X, Y, and Z. And then at that video, the call to action is the lead magnet. Now that you've got a glimpse of this strategy of how you can teach these leadership skills online, I want to help you further. I want to give you a resource. It's free. It's my Influencer Almanac. Now in this online resource, I continually add to it to make it more and more valuable. I've put in all my tips, all my tools, and all my strategies of how to leverage YouTube and how to grow influence. When you put all those things together, it's all about how to really do this to generate revenue in your business. This is a gift to you for free. Go ahead and click the link below and it's yours right now.